baby, you know,
You see him. You see
no
Scotty's
foul play.
clearly. He's clearly leaving. I mean, he's not missing. He left. But yeah, I mean,
He's
like
missing,
I say, a
but
full
willing-
investigation should definitely be made.
Indeed, because the baby still ain't been found. You know what I mean? But it's, again, blatantly you see this, and of course, you're going to have we got to find him.
Exactly.
Then you have this case, and it's like, well, we didn't see any foul play. So there's really no need for an investigation. You know, but again, the call was, my son just called me and said that his boss was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And nothing.
He clearly said he was being chased.
And nothing. And so, again, he's in distress. This young man walks away. No distress. But yet, investigation. This man, in distress. No foul play.
So I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference in the laws in the two different states.
Just
Because I'm trying to just understand that, if you know what made Indiana react and what made Mississippi react the way they did, with no reaction at all.
nothing. Not even a car. Not even a squad car. And an excuse of animals did it.
Right. But
But
how
the
did he
autopsy
get out there
says-
anyway?
Clearly, this is not from an animal.
But because they cannot determine, and they have a body, but they cannot determine the cause of death. There's no investigation because it cannot be ruled a homicide. Fuck the fact that he called his mom and
said what he said. And now we have a mutilated body in front of us.
Because I know he didn't go out there
He didn't do it to himself.
and just lie to exactly and kill himself.
He didn't do that shit to himself. Some
He ain't hang
bullshit.
himself from a tree.
Some bullshit. And of course, you can't tell how he died. Because he was literally tore apart. Sad.
Or was he? You know, was he tore apart? Because there's a distinct way that your bones would break if it was being pulled apart. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be severed.
Severed meaning cut.
Yes. And how did he end up? His death should be suspicious enough.
To even, period. Just the fact that the mom called you. Because again, I'm sure she called countless times. He's still, you know what I mean? Because a whole month to the day, he's found. Not too far where the photo, quote unquote, was taken.
Right. So it's not like they didn't know which way to look.
So, I mean, if they caught him on photo there, whatever transpired happened right in that area where there was cameras, and I'm sure there was more than one photo. And I believe whatever transpired on that camera picked up everybody else that was on that photo. It just so happened at that time when he was on camera, you just didn't see, they weren't there yet.
Right.
You get what I mean? Because he was still trying to flee. He was still panicked looking. They just wasn't there
Well,
yet.
this is just a way to shut her up, I think. I think the only reason that they released that still photo of him.
We got to give her something.
Right. It's to cover up the investigation in the first place. Because regardless of what picture was taken, like I said, the boy was seen leaving willingly. The picture, which they have live footage, the picture shows that he looked in distress and that he looked like he was running for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of if you know what happened, because I mean, in all murder cases, you don't know, they don't really have a full, picture of what happened. But it's definitely some foul play when the call was made to the mother. It was foul play then. Enough foul play to where she called the cops and told them, my son is somebody's trying to kill my son.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you know? I'm just trying to I'm just trying to figure out, like, what was the questions asked, or did they even like
to ask questions? Like, how long was the phone call?
Was it like, well, how do you know your son's missing? How do you know he's dead? Right?
Mm-hmm. Something to that effect. Well, what would lead you to believe that?
So 2 days after that, you telling me he still haven't showed nothing, and you still didn't go to the area? You definitely knew that he was in that area if the wildlife preserve knew. So why wasn't there, any investigation towards this? Because they didn't care.
Not at all. Not at all.
And when you have a whole county of people that's, involved with the situation, it makes it easier for them to be able to cover it up. It's like a teacher turning her neck when she see a child being bullied. And not saying nothing. That shit is not
just
right.
Watching it happen.
That shit is not right.
Letting it happen. Not at all. Not at all.
So pretty much it's still okay for, black people to get lynched. Obviously in Mississippi, right? Obviously. And how many other counties is like this? You'll be surprised how much shit happened that we don't even, know about.
Yep.
That didn't even make the news. But Scotty Morris, he's definitely center of everything right now. All efforts are being made, which they should, but don't you think the circumstances is a little bit different, though? Indeed. It's almost like, well, y'all anticipating that the boy is dead, but this mother of her child called and telling you her son is going to be dead. You know what I'm saying?
How you know that? How would you know that?
But they automatically assume some foul play with the little boy when he clearly was having some disagreement with his parents.
Some discipline issues and
and he left on his own with some things with him. clear signs of. Now, isn't that clear signs of a runaway child? Not saying that they shouldn't be pursuing, finding them. Who wants their child out in the street? But their child didn't call them and say, hey, I'm being chased. That wasn't the circumstances. But you have all these counties getting together to try to find this child, which they should. But the same efforts, I think, should have been made for Rasheen.
Exactly. Especially given the circumstances. You know what I mean? Especially given the circumstances. It's very, very disappointing. It's hurtful, really.
It is.
It's a slap in the face.
Right. And it's like there'll never be any type of peace for the family.
Not to say I won't say ever, not ever, but I want to say hopefully, she could stand up and make something happen. You know what I mean? Keep digging. But then again, I was told out there people are still comfortable with that stuff going on out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know how true that is, but it's sad to say, like I said, still knowing that it goes on, it does exist.
Right.
It's not a place I ever want to go visit. You hear what I mean?
Right. And, and if you have any input on the conversation today, the topic, or if you want to add anything different, please feel free to give us a call. Live, we're 702-605-4836. We definitely like to hear your input on the subject.
Or any information you know about that the world should know.
And I think that it's more so a comfortability. It's the fact that it's been like that so long in these counties, And
I don't care where on the world you live. You know what I mean? You matter. You get what I mean?
Right.
Somebody call the police and say, hey, something's going on. This person called me, or I haven't heard from this person in a week. Can you please send somebody over there?
Exactly.
You get what I mean?
And
it shouldn't
that's
matter
called,
what state or county you live in. You
right.
know what I mean?
And that's called a welfare check.
That much effort should be given. At least that much effort. They ain't even send a car.
Man.
So, I mean, it's definitely disturbing. It's definitely disturbing.
It is, and it's scary because, I plan on, going traveling across country with my children, and I'm just thinking about these states, and I'm like, do I want to take the chance to show my children, their country, or, should I avoid these states? But these states are an important part of our history.
This is true. I'll never forget my first children's father said he wanted to, move out south and get some land and stuff. And I'll never forget I stated, well, they got to learn how to shoot.
Definitely.
That was the first thing that came out of our mouth. The kids got to learn how to shoot.
And it's crazy to, be in these places and know that you have the whole town that hates you.
Right, and just understand, knowing that it's everywhere. You get what I mean? This hateful shit is everywhere.
Yes.
But to be in a spot that, it's normal.
Yes.
This is some everyday shit. Because there's rotten people everywhere. But we're talking about a bunch of rotten people in one area.
Well, because they give every company the right to reserve. They reserve the right to refuse service. So it doesn't matter why